Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-888-88-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater, and Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information on a very special 4th of July weekend. I've been traveling like everybody else on the planet and represented the USA in the UK. How about that?
Awesome.
What's so funny, Barry? What, you don't think I can represent?
Now I understand why I saw that bulletin come up from Department of Homeland Security.
Yes.
It said, keep all Americans from Florida out of our country.
Okay, there was a potential international incident I might have been a part of. But I am back stateside to share my adventures with you and the world, to torture you, basically, say, suck it, losers. I was living the life out on the waterways.
I was too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Mike the Mariner was like a week before me and blazing the trail, and I just kind of drifted back in his wake, and maybe extended it a little further in Iceland and Norway. We'll talk about that soon enough. But right before we got on the air today, on the 4th of July weekend, Mike the Mariner shares a little tidbit that I'm anxious to find out what the hell has happened.
Yeah.
I said, so Mike, what's going on? He goes, well, I'm recovering from a bullet or a gunshot or something. I'm like, what?
I'm looking at him. I don't see any bandages.
I see no blood.
No, it wasn't that bad. No, but oh wow, there's a huge manatee right in front of my boat.
Hey,
change the subject.
So we belong to a shooting club, and we were up at the Omega Ranch shooting this morning. And I went over to the gun range on the left side of the piece of property, and on the right side, line of sight, it's about 150 feet away, but downrange, it's another 50 yards. Well, there was a guy over there shooting, a friend of mine over there shooting a rifle, and apparently one of the bullets must have hit one of the metal target frames.
Mm-hmm.
And I was over on the other side, and all of a sudden I got hit in the chin by something.
Whoa!
And I'm like, whoa, that's weird. So I wiped my chin off, and I had blood on my hand. I'm like, what in the heck? So I start looking around. I'm like, what happened? Then I put two and two together. I got hit by shrapnel.
Yeah.
So I walked over. I'm like, hey, Bill, can you do timeout for a second?
Yeah. I want to live.
I think I just got hit by some shrapnel from your gun. And sure enough, we figured it out. I mean, we saw exactly what happened, because a little while later, someone else was shooting, and we saw a piece of shrapnel hit a piece of wood near me. So yeah.
Well, better the wood than you. Yeah.
Yeah, but
well, I'm glad you're still with us. I was thinking it was going to be, some kind of July 4th, shoot up in the sky, and it came down and whacked you.
Well, like those fireworks that were launched in the stadium and came down like rockets upon the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a little
I heard
too close for comfort there. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So this will be a memorable weekend for you. You're a gunshot survivor. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just a nick, but
yeah. Well, don't let that get in the way.
Happened to me.
Yeah.
It happened to me, about when I was about 10 or 12 years old. My brother and I were target shooting at the hunting camp we grew up on, and same thing happened, but it hit me in the chest. And but it was winter. I was wearing a huge coat, so I just felt the thump.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the second time that's happened to me, though.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's
Crazy.
not go for three. And you look fine.
Exactly.
You can see him on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. And it has not injured the moneymaker, Mike the Mariner's face. So he's still good, even though, we have a face for radio, and let the jokes continue.
I do have a face for radio.
I wasn't going to put you in that, but now you got a more detailed cliff chin. or something. Cleft chin, or was that what it is?
Left, yeah.
Yeah.
No, just a little bump right there.
All right.
Right
Well,
there.
adds character.
So
Yeah.
I guess Silhouette is not up for sale then.
Silhouette is not up for sale. No, but we're taking. We're going to go a little bit later. We're on Silhouette right now, but we're taking the Craig Cat out to meet some friends a
There you
little bit
go.
later. So,
Yeah. Now, did
so
both
we're-
of you go out for 4th of July, or what do you think? on the 4th?
we stayed on the boat here because here at the marina this is where the city does its fireworks. So
Right.
when you're sitting on on the helm where we are now, and you're looking out at the entrance to the marina, that's where the fireworks are. So literally they're right in front of us. It was a
Ah.
great show. There were about 5,000 people
There you
here
go.
downtown. They had food trucks, they had music, and it
Best
was
seats
a
in
good
the
time.
house.
And you had the best seats right
Yeah.
there. It's
We did.
fantastic.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
What about
The
you,
roof
Barry?
over you.
Did
No,
you?
no, I did not.
You didn't shoot off
no.
your flares at least?
No,
And,
you know something. For some reason, I just wasn't into it this year. We
Mm.
watched the Capitol 4th. Neighbors in back of us set off a plethora of fireworks, and we watched it through there. It's
Yeah.
warm out, and you notice it's been hot since.
I haven't been here. I was in
I know
Iceland.
you were in the Iceland in the frozen, beautiful north,
Right.
while we're sweating bullets here.
Mhm.
Yes,
I went
But-
south. I went to Greece. You went north to Norway and did the
Yes,
fjords.
I did. Yeah,
That's
that
on
was,
my bucket list.
that was wild. But Barry, you weren't tempted to pull out your flares when you saw your neighbors? Like, hey, I'll show you some fireworks.
No, I really, it didn't even occur to me. I have been working on the boat, and I did take the boat out last week with another fresh tank of fuel, and she's running a lot better.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
but I'm gonna
just
I'm
for
gonna
the record, we
continue-
don't
yeah.
condone that kind of activity for boaters to set their
No,
flares off on the
but
4th of July. But
If you were to do it on
and
the
it
4th of
mixes
July,
in with a bunch of
yeah,
Roman candles.
no one's going to know the difference, right?
And then you get a fresh set.
You
for
know
the
what's
new-
scary
next year.
is you try, if you look at a couple that are dated 2 or 3 years out of date and you try them, sometimes they don't go off. So those dates aren't just something magical they put in there,
Mhm.
just so they could sell more flares. They actually do over time fail.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have one of those 3 or 4-year-old flares and you're trying to fire it off and nothing's happening as the sharks are circling you
Right.
and looking at you as dinner.
Yeah. But if you happen to set
Boy,
them
you went
off,
down a dark path.
he
there,
did,
man.
didn't he? Golly, Barry.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but if you're going to shoot them off on the 4th of July, just don't do them. So if you mix them into someone else's display and you can sneak them
Yeah.
in there, I mean that'd be the way to do it. But don't just go out on the water on the 4th of July next year.
No, especially
set
in
'em
the
off. They don't
ocean or
like
any-
that.
Yeah, no, they
The
don't. They
Coast
don't.
Guard will be a little
That's right.
perturbed with you, even though that would be the time to do it and get away with it.
It's-
Flush out some old ones. Yeah.
It's not only that, it's, people have never shot off a flare gun or any kind of gun before. They have no idea what it's going to feel like, and they're going to be nervous.
Right.
And if you're
you
going
might
to show
nick
them,
the chin of Mike the Mariner accidentally.
that's right.
When
They may have their finger on the trigger and say, "So how do you hold this?" as they point it to you.
Mhm.
That'll hurt.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I wouldn't want to be nicked on the chin by a flare gun. That would
Yeah, it'd be more of a
get rubbed
singe.
in flames.
Best case.
Yeah, a hot ball of molten metal
Lava.
coming to you.
Well, you were
Right.
going to say lava, and that's where I
Lava,
was.
yeah.
I was hanging, on the 4th of July. I was in Iceland, and
And you saw the lava?
by the volcanoes. I did. Yeah, I was.
That sounds like a fantastic
I was
trip.
swimming in the hot springs of the Blue Lagoon on the
So
4th
no one
of
Which
can
July.
countries
tell-
did you
Yeah.
go to?
Say it again, Mike.
Which countries did you go to?
Well, we started in London. Did a
Yeah.
few nights there. Hopped on the Norwegian Prima, which I'll give you a little review of that a
Oh,
little
we were
later
on
on.
Norwegian.
Yeah.
we were on Norwegian.
And then
yeah.
we went and spent some time in Norway, Amsterdam, Bergen, Belgium,
Mhm.
and then Iceland. We did
Do you get to tour
stops.
the areas around
Yeah.
there and the history? That's what my daughter's looking for.
what in
she
Iceland
went
or
on-
where?
Well, no, she
All
went
down
on her
there.
first cruise in the Caribbean this past week,
Yeah.
and she didn't know what to make of it. She, I would let her give her own story.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about how she might be able to enhance her next cruising adventure as I share my latest one next on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
explorer in the other two-thirds of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I normally don't have a burger, a brat, and a steak, but it is 4th of July. And I need the energy if I'm going to start blowing crap up. That's what the founding fathers would want.
Love the 4th of July, love the 4th of July. I do it up big on the 4th of July.
This is the world of boating. Greg, your first mate, that's me, along with Barry the Boater and Mike the Mariner. 4th of July, a couple days ago. Hopefully you made the best of it. And, celebrated accordingly on your boat. You did not go out on the 4th yourself, though, Barry, right? You like
not
avoiding the holidays.
No. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the news was out at the ramps. There were people there at 4 a.m. getting ready to launch because they wanted to get their spot. They knew it was going to be busy.
Right.
And also the city of Miami, there are 4 islands that are very popular that they closed down for the last holiday. They closed it down for the 4th, or it's been closed since then. Because they would leave too much of their garbage there. And they did interview some of these people that visit these islands, and they basically said, look, we screwed up, and now we're paying for it by not picking up our stuff.
Well, they're not paying for it.
Well, they're paying for it because they can't get to those islands, especially if you're in a wave runner or something like that. If you don't have a place to go beach, it's not much deck space on a wave runner. There's just not much you can do.
But they got a hold of some people that said, oh, yeah, I left garbage there all the time. No, they did not get those people. The people that they talked to were the responsible ones, probably.
Well, no, they spoke, there are these groups of people that go out there, and I guess they thought that nothing would ever happen. They could just do what they wanted. And now that they're really they're talking about if you go on these islands, you get arrested, not just cited. They will take you to the pokey because they're not messing anymore. They've tried everything. They put signs up. They have garbage cans there, but they get cleaned only once a week. So, and there's not enough money, I guess, to send someone out there a couple of times a week. So they tell you whatever you take in, you bring back with you. If you could take it on your boat there, you could bring back the empty packages. And then there's always dumpsters at these boat ramps.
Right.
So, that's what I do.
That's
when
just
I go out.
being a responsible
Boating.
human being.
And Yes,
Not
but
just a boater, but just But hey, you
well,
always
boaters they were always
idiots.
at a level above
Mhm.
at one time. I mean, there was a time where you could leave your boat and leave your stuff out, and no one messed with it. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, they were like off limits. Nowadays, it's not like that anymore. Something's changed.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What
it's
is it? What do you think it is?
What has changed?
Yeah.
I don't know. Attitudes.
Mm.
That everything is up for grabs. So
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, years ago when we did a lot of fishing tournaments, my dad and I would pull into a marina somewhere. We had probably, I don't know, $10,000 worth of fishing gear just sitting there, and the rod holders and all the tackle and all that stuff. We
Mhm.
get off the boat, walk into the restaurant, go hang out for a while, not worry about it. But these
Right.
days, you walk back out and half your gear's gone.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
So
I don't
it
know.
is-
We sound like a bunch of crotchety old men.
it's not, but I mean the
But-
statistics prove it out. And the big problem they had with this garbage and all that stuff is they had the news crews out there, and they were showing these islands were absolute pigsties.
Right.
I mean, it's just garbage floating everywhere, and then it floats in the bay. And they've already had enough problems down in Biscayne Bay with a lot of the fish kills and the chemicals and stuff going into them.
Mhm.
They're trying to make it nice again. If you noticed, I sent you some pictures. I was down in Stiltsville last week,
Yeah.
and it was quiet. I went during a weekday. It
So
was beautiful
Stiltsville
out
is
there.
what? A bunch of houses on stilts?
It's a bunch of houses on stilts that were built there in the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
And rum runners would go there. That was some of their hideouts.
Mhm.
And there's only a few left. I think there's 7 of them left. I had to go count all my all the buildings that I took pictures of, but it's gorgeous out there. The seagrasses are protected, and they're all nice. They're not all chopped up with props and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And they're trying to get the bay back to what it was 40 and 50 years ago. Because, if there's no seagrasses, then there's no baby fish. If there's no baby fish, there's no large fish, and your fishing industry dies, and everything else dies with it.
Hmm.
You've got to take care of this system, and it doesn't require much.
No, it doesn't. But these houses that you were cruising by,
Oh, so
they're uninhabited, just the remnants left, or
actually,
what?
no, well, if you look at the pictures, you can actually, there is a trust that's been set up that's rehabbing them so that you have a historical background of these homes. So they have been rebuilding them, painting them. You can actually rent them out through the trust. I guess you make some kind of donation or something, or and you can even tour them. There is a boat that will take you out there, so you can tour these, and they're in shallow water, so you've got to know where you're going. Some of the areas are only 3 feet deep, but they're beautiful just to go out there. And the day I went out, the seas were flat, and somewhat flat. But when I got into the Biscayne Bay area, it was absolutely like glass. You see those photos I sent you, and I said
Yes.
you could post them up on the website. It's a beautiful place to visit. It really is.
And once again, it is where exactly?
Stiltsville. It is south of Key Biscayne. If you see the Key Biscayne Lighthouse, it's probably about maybe 2 miles south of Key Biscayne itself. There is a channel that goes through from the ocean into the bay. If you don't use that channel, there's a good chance you're going to be eating a prop somewhere along the way.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
there's
I've
a
been
lot
through
of
there.
shallow water there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty good. All right. Well, you got Stiltsville. You could do a cruise like me, and Mike the Mariner did one. Well, first off, where did you go exactly before I hit the hit the
So
UK?
we started in Venice. We spent a day in Venice, and then we caught the ship about 30 miles east of Venice, and then we went to Croatia,
Wow.
Montenegro, Slovenia, and Greece.
And that was on which cruise line and what ship?
Norwegian.
Yeah. What was the
Yeah, we were on-
which cruise line or which cruise ship? I mean, what was the
The
name?
Pearl,
the Pearl.
Norwegian Pearl.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's one of their older vessels.
It is. It is.
And a
Yeah.
little smaller because maybe some of those ports you got to be smaller to get the boat in close, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we were supposed to go. So in Greece, we went to Santorini.
Sure,
But
that sounds good.
We were supposed to go to Mykonos, but we had 48 knot winds,
Ooh.
and so we missed Mykonos. We couldn't get the ship in there, so we had 2 sea days instead of 1. But what a great trip and amazing. We saw some really amazing sights and met some amazing people.
Yeah.
Just a really great experience.
Well, that's what it is about. Now, when you were on the boat, did you feel like a boater, kind of, or were you a total passenger, or
I was a complete passenger.
Yeah. You didn't go up and see the helm, talk to the captain, or anything?
No.
Were you tempted?
I've done that on other cruise ships.
Yeah,
but,
you didn't need to do it on this one. Okay.
No, not on this one. No, I was a complete passenger on this one.
I asked Allie if she was going to do, the tour of the bridge and all that stuff, and she texted me back at $140. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that is a premium tour they offer on these cruise.
I mean, if they give you a hat, maybe that's a good idea.
No, they won't give you that. They won't even let you take pictures for the most part because it's security is involved. All right. Well, we'll talk about my cruise experience next. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I used to have a boat.
You did?
Yeah, she was pretty damn sweet, man. I love that boat.
So why'd you lose it?
Sometimes the things we love aren't long for this world, Vern. Especially when your alcoholic ex-wife gets drunk and falls overboard and drowns.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first meet. Barry the Boater. Now, rounding out the crew, we lost one. We made Mike the Mariner walk the plank. Actually, he had just other 4th of July things that he had to take care of.
Activities.
He's heading out on his Craig Cat.
Yeah.
To extend the holiday weekend as he should. So we're not gonna knock him for that at all.
That was the nice thing about having the 4th of July on a Thursday is a lot of people got 4-day weekends out of it.
So true. Yeah. And matter of fact, we just played a little clip there from Def Leppard. They're playing in Orlando this week. So my celebration for the holiday is going to extend through Wednesday.
Oh, are you and CJ and James going?
No.
No.
Just
the
me.
Old radio cruise
Mrs.
not going.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking it. Oh, she's
it's
a
Journey,
rocker,
Def
huh?
Leppard, and Cheap Trick.
All right, so this must be the AARP tour.
No, yeah, right. No, that's the Rolling Stones. Hello.
Oh, okay.
Right. Anyway, it'll be great, Joe. So the party continues.
Right.
So your daughter was asking about cruising. She just did her first cruise.
She did her first cruise.
Yeah.
It was a Caribbean cruise. It was a 5-day, 4-night, I guess you call it.
But it was an older Carnival boat.
No, but I mean, it had been just refurbished. So
that's fine.
It was redone as of 2024. So
that's fine. But let me explain something to you. Same thing with what Mike was talking about. He was on the NCL Pearl, which is one of their older vessels. I mean, the cruise lines are always, refurbishing their older boats and bringing them up to snuff and all that. And they're nice. They're good. They're fine. But I will tell you, this is a absolute fact. I found this out over the years, and I've talked to the staff. that all their new ones, when they build a brand new vessel from the water up, they put all their first class or most experienced crew people on those vessels. Those are the primo gigs, for the staff and everybody. Because they want the new boat to be, the star of the fleet and all this kind of stuff. So generally speaking, you're going to get a little bit better experience overall on a brand new vessel. Now, that said, just like with a new car, you might have some hiccups. And the vessel that I just went on that went through, left London and went through Norway and I ended up in Iceland was the Norwegian Prima. And that thing's only 2-3 years old. Brand new.
2-3 years should have gone through all its shakedowns.
Yeah, it had. But
Okay.
it was a brand new style of cruise ship that the industry had not seen before, and for Norwegian and for actually the entire cruise industry. It's a pretty
what makes
unique
it
vessel.
different?
The way it looks, the shape of it, it's closer to the look of like a bigger version of the Virgin Voyage cruise ships, which are smaller compared to
so
Royal
it has
Caribbean and some of the
that
other ones.
straight bow. It doesn't have the pointy bow. It's kind of almost vertical.
Yeah, it has a different kind of look to it. Just if you Google it, you can see. But it's Norwegian Prima, and then they have the Viva, and I think there might be one other one maybe, or it's about to come out. But it's a new class and a new
The
style.
Nina,
It looks
the
pretty
Pinta,
cool.
and the Santa Maria.
Yeah, I mean, just as far as the aesthetics of the vessel itself, when you're looking at the boat from a distance from the dock, I mean, the paint scheme is pretty elaborate. It's cool looking. It's very sleek.
So,
but the technology that they have on the vessel is, it's pretty top notch. Now, I will tell you though, even though when I go and I book a cruise like this. And I'm sorry, you're listening right now and you're thinking, hey, that's not boating. Wrong. I'm saying it is. You're on a boat, a ship, whatever, same thing.
Okay.
And so I'm always looking at the equipment that these cruise lines use and to satisfy their customers and stuff. And that is part of the appeal of going on a cruise ship. And it's not just those destinations, but getting there in style or, and enjoying some of the luxuries that they put on these things, which is crazy. They had like a virtual reality game room and, with the headsets and the whole thing, Barry, there's a lot of technology on there from Starlink where you got full internet and everything. What are you laughing at? What's
I don't know. It just sounds more like, if you were still a teenager or something like that.
Well, no, I'm just saying the technology, it's like going to a high-end resort in Vegas. So, you can't be, at the destination all the time. So you might as well enjoy the journey. And that's what it is.
But that was the thing, is that this was a short hop. It went from Miami to Nassau to something called Half Moon Cay, which is, I guess, an island they own, and then down to the Turks and Caicos for a day, and then, a day at sea, and then back. So it was kind of a, like going through a cafeteria line of trying a little bit of each.
Well, if you go to the buffet, but, on the boat we were on, you had all this specialty dining, very unique,
but
kind of things.
And they have some of that too on this ship, but some of them are extra and some of them are not.
Right.
So, but it wasn't even that. It's what she was looking for. She wanted to be able to go see these countries and take some tours and learn about the history and all that stuff. She had more fun, and I think it was in Nassau, going to a rum plant.
Yep.
They did this like 10-stop tour, and they stopped at a rum factory, and for that 7 minutes, she was in heaven, learning about the history, the rum and the molasses and all the other things that had to do with that. But what she didn't enjoy was going to these markets and just people all trying to get you to buy things. And, there were other things involved that she did not enjoy. And the fact that it was so many people that she said it was just a rolling drunk tank from one end of the ship to the other.
Well, it can be. It depends on, it depends on the cruise line, the cruise ship. Those newer boats are generally more expensive. So the more
it depends on how much you're paying.
Right. So if you
Right.
go for, like Carnival or in a cheaper kind of mode, you're gonna have experience more party animals. It's
Right.
gonna be, spring break on the water kind of thing.
And I explained that to her because I said you would probably like what Greg was on.
Yeah.
I said if you want to, and that's why I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
When you went to Norway and Iceland, did they just take you to touristy places, or did you just actually go to historical places, castles, things like that? Where
Yes.
tourists do that.
Both.
That's what she would like to do.
Yeah.
But I did check out the prices, and woof,
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the cruise line. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
you have to fly there.
Well, the tours that we did in
Mhm.
Norway and Iceland were not cheap, especially Iceland. Iceland
Yeah.
is pretty expensive, and you can spend more on the tours than you do on the cruise. Easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you just got to plan it out a little bit. They give you
Mhm.
plenty of options, and I will say the itinerary was amazing.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend both places. The scenery we saw in Norway and the fjords and Iceland and the continental shelves where they meet and all the volcanic activity. It is
That looks
mind
beautiful.
blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
Just think of that type of movie set, and you're walking around it 24/7. It's wild and truly unique in that sense. However, the boat itself, even though it was very aesthetic pleasing and it was really nice, the food was good. I would say overall, the food compared to the other lines, I wasn't like blown away, and they're like average, dining room stuff. The specialty dining stuff was good, but like you said, it's an upcharge, and they didn't have enough food places to eat 24/7.
Oh my God.
I know that's
You
probably
see,
the
that's-
first time on the planet. What do you mean? You got on a cruise and they didn't have enough food? Yeah.
No one loses weight on a ship.
I mean,
That's
this
all
guy
I know.
had a baseball cap. It said WTF.
Yeah.
Where's the food? And it made sense, but I'll tell you more next.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Welcome aboard. I will be your captain. You'll be my scallywags. I don't know what that means, but you will be them. And here's how we play.
Thank you for your attention and welcome aboard.
Let's go.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater. Okay, so I was on the Norwegian Prima cruise ship. This is one of their newer vessels, new style of cruise ship, aesthetically beautiful, beautiful vessel. And, the amenities on the boat are, the technology and everything is pretty crazy. It's a technical marvel, really, when you look at it. Now, here's the downside to the way they designed it. It's not the biggest boat on the water by any stretch. They actually, compared to some of their older boats, they actually downsized a little bit with this vessel. Not a lot, but it's, they didn't go bigger than their older vessels with this style. But what they did, they tried to use the spaces more efficiently and make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, which I think they achieved. Now, here's the problem is they did a ton of outdoor seating. So this vessel is amazing, like if you're in a warm weather environment. But we were cruising from London, Norway, and Iceland, which are not very conducive to outdoor dining. We're talking 50s, 60s, on a good day, and it could be rainy and that kind of thing. So a lot of the outdoor setting places, especially for food, were kind of shut down or not really, a good choice. And because of that, and the fact that the thing was probably sold out, we had some issues when we were trying to get to places to eat. And, it's like, last thing in the world you think that you'd have a problem eating on a cruise ship. And we actually did have that problem. And,
Really? I mean,
because they
you
didn't
got-
have enough chairs sometimes.
You got to a point where you looked at the restaurant and said, "Well, we can't eat here. We can't eat at all. Let's go get our rations."
Yeah, well, you know what was I will ding them on this. They had limited food choices in off hours. So, you know, if you needed to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, yeah, you had tons of places to go, whether you pay or it's included or whatever, like any cruise line, what you would expect. But if you were off, like for instance, you had an excursion in the morning that dropped you back at the thing at 3:00 and you hadn't
Right.
had lunch, and like, okay, it's 3:00, I want to go grab a bite somewhere, you'd have like one choice.
Okay.
And it would be like, you know, chicken wings at a bar. I mean,
oh my God.
no, but I mean, but it was like,
pain
hey,
of it.
where's
Oh.
the days of the chocolate buffet or all you can eat pizza, you know, 24/7. They didn't really have
on-
that.
They had that on Allie's ship. She
Yeah,
said
I
the
mean,
pizza place had
Carnival-
pizza rolling all day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Carnival's very good at that. So with this new style of ship that NCL put out there with the Prima, that was something that was a little off, and people were complaining that there weren't enough places open, and especially in off times. Like if you want to have a late night stack, you'd have to go to one place on the ship far away, and there wouldn't be that many choices, or not enough seats was an issue. You know, that kind of
Do
thing.
you think this ship would be a Caribbean-based ship, or
Yeah.
it's basically for the North Sea?
Well,
for that
once
area?
again, the seats, they would have opened up if the outdoor seating, like at the restaurants, was open and
Mhm.
the weather was nice. Yeah, you wouldn't have had that problem. But because we were in a colder area, so, you know, that's why I'm saying I would say this ship is more conducive to a warmer climate than what we experienced it with. So I'm not dinging it big time. I'm just saying that was something that was a little off on our trip. But aesthetically, it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of her.
The technology and how they can maneuver this thing. You know, they would take it out in the fjords and do a 360 and have us get a perfect view of all these waterfalls and everything. It was remarkable. So
it's a shorter ship than some of the other ones that
well,
I've
exactly. You know,
Right.
and you know, so like that's what I'm saying. They're not necessarily they've kind of downsized a little bit and trying to use the spaces more efficiently, maybe.
seen. Mhm.
And I think that kind of worked. And the room was very nice, and the service was great. The entertainment was top notch. It was great. So
Was the
you know,
missus happy?
yeah, of course.
Oh, then you're
Mhm.
set.
Yeah.
Nothing else to worry about.
Right. That is true. But
And you didn't bring me back a horn, you know, a hat with horns on it.
no,
did
I
you?
did not. I thought about
you
it. And I was like, you know, Barry wants one of these. Do I want to get them? No.
No.
I could
thanks.
pick it up at the local, you know, dollar store and say, yeah, I got this in Norway. So you might still
Sure.
get that by the end of the year. We'll see.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, you know, I mean, just overall though, compared to the other cruise lines, I wasn't blown away by the food, especially on the complimentary stuff. It was okay. It was right in there. It wasn't bad. It was definitely good enough. Have I had better? Yes. But was it bad? No. It was very adequate.
Oh,
so
it holds 3,099 passengers. That's
yeah. I
and
mean,
100
I'd say
yeah.
overall, I'd give it, like on a grading scale, I'd give it a B. You know, and it wasn't
Really?
the best. It wasn't terrible. It was right in there in the middle. I mean, I did love the way the thing looked.
They had the Indulge food hall.
Yep, that was kind of unique. But once again,
Yeah.
there was very limited
Oh,
space.
okay.
There were too
So
many
they didn't just
people,
put you
not
on-
enough seats and
They
tables.
couldn't just put you on a conveyor, you know, laying on your back.
Yes.
And then they bring you over to something and just drop food into
Well,
your
that's the way
mouth.
it used to be. They're trying to be, I guess, more responsible or have people.
Yeah, maybe.
I
you
mean,
know?
they I don't know. They don't do the, you know, they used to have a midnight, chocolate, bar
Oh,
or something.
that's why I know you love your chocolate desserts.
Yeah, they would have like a midnight buffet, and they used to always have lobster and everything. Now it's like lobster is an upcharge if you want to get lobster. You know, so
Absolutely.
you know the cruise lines are adjusting, and they're kind of segmenting things off. Where if you want the real plushy and top of the
You're
line,
gonna pay for
You're going to
it, yeah.
pay. You're going to pay for the upcharge. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's a different environment with the newer cruise lines and
Mhm.
and the ships and how they're running. But still, I mean, what a way to see that part of the world. I mean, that was my first time to Norway and Iceland. I would love to go back. Both were spectacular. And, whether you like cruising or not, and whether you believe it's a form of boating or not, I mean, it's hard to beat the views you get from a balcony stateroom on a cruise ship doing a 360 in the middle of a fjord in Norway. It is remarkable. It is, and it's awe-inspiring. And matter of fact, it's Norway, Iceland. The itinerary we did, Barry, is the second most popular cruise trip itinerary in the world by popularity, only followed by Alaska, which is where I'm going at the end of August.
So those are the things that I was telling Allie about. I said, you can talk to Greg about riverboat. I said, you might like a river boat cruise.
Yeah.
Because she's looking for places where they would stop and they would visit, these castles, these old, she loves history.
Yeah.
So she's
and that'd be the way to go.
That'll teach her. Yeah. History.
And the river cruise is basically just your, floating hotel room.
Right. From you. So you go every night, you go from one spot to the next, then you're out on all day on doing your tour. Yeah. And then you get back on, you eat, and you go to the next spot. And I guess it's similar to what you did for this ship.
Well, this is a little bit more traditional cruise.
It's a longer distance. Yeah.
Yeah. And the boat itself is an attraction. When you're on the river cruise, there's not really much on the boat happening.
Right.
When you're on one of these big things like the Norwegian Prima, I mean, they had the Donna Summer Broadway show, which was unbelievably high quality, really, really good. If you're into that kind of thing. So, they got a lot of attractions on the boat that kind of fill up your time in between those stores.
But they didn't have a bunch of drunk people all over the place.
Oh, yeah, of course you did. Really quick.
Oh,
I
really?
was on it. I mean.
Oh, you were on it?
Yeah. Me and my crew, we lit it up a few times.
What about the Alaskan, because I also suggested Alaskan cruise. That's more of a going out and looking at nature, right?
No, same thing. It's very, very similar. Alaska, Norway, and Iceland. I mean, you get these spectacular views. And like I said, I'm going at the end of August. I'll be able to tell you that one and be able to tell you suck it, loser then. Looking forward to that, Barry?
No.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap it up then.
All right.
Till next week, remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Barnacle-bitten swab. World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.